What is good, everybody? It is your boy Champagne Chico, and we are back with Chico's Choices. And last week, we didn't do well. We didn't do well, which you'll probably see at the start of this video, but wow, we did not start off good whatsoever. The Vikings, the Packers, the Bills, the Bengals, the Lions, the Chargers, the Buccaneers, the Jaguars, the Colts, 49ers, Giants, Cowboys, Broncos, Dolphins, Panthers, and the Browns. So just to make a quick recap, we'll probably go into it a little more since I was thinking about it because I was going to drop a video Tuesday for the recap, but it didn't make much sense when it's really going to be like 1 or 2 minutes of me talking about it. So the Vikings lost to the Eagles. They were kind of making a comeback in some way at the end of the game, but ended up losing, so that's 0-1. The Green Bay Packers lost by 1 against the Falcons. 0-2. Bills versus Raiders, I picked the Bills, so that's 1-2. Ravens versus Bengals, I really thought that Joe Burrow was going to come back and really deal on the Ravens after his first game, but he's still not looking too great. So that's 1-3. The Seahawks beat the Lions. That's 1-4. Beat them in overtime too. That was a really interesting game to watch. And the Colts versus the Texans, I picked the Colts. So that's 2, 2-4. I'm gonna have it up on the screen as I go on. But Chiefs versus Jaguars, I thought the Jaguars were gonna win. It was a very hard fought game between the two teams defensively. But 2-5. Bears versus Bucks, I really thought, I thought the Bucks were gonna win. 2-6. So really, we're not looking good. This is not a winning record right now. The Chargers lost to the Texans. The Giants won against the Cardinals, which I did say. So that's 3-7. I'm going to have it up. I'm going to stop trying to keep track of it. 49ers beat the Rams, and I predicted that. Cowboys beat the Jets. Also another one that I did get right. The Commanders versus the Broncos. I thought the Broncos were going to win after the game they had last week against the Raiders, but I guess not, so that's another L for me. The Dolphins beat the Patriots, which I thought they were going to be convincingly after the half, so much so that I turned off the game because I was trying to do something else and I was heading home, but they almost choked away the game. So I'm glad they came out with the win, though. The Saints versus the Panthers. I thought the Bryce Young was going to come out and really deal on the Saints defense, even though they have some older players, but still good. I thought he was going to do well, but he's struggling so far. It looks like he's feeling the pressure. Steelers versus Browns. I thought it was going to be the Browns, but they ended up losing too because Nick Chubb and that injury. I hope he gets well soon. Nick Chubb was one of my favorite running backs. I hope he comes back stronger, but that's a tough injury. That's a tough injury. But now we hop into our second episode of Chico's Choices. And the first one is tonight with the Giants versus the 49ers. I thought the Giants were going to be a lot better coming into the season. Isaiah Simmons being traded to them for basically nothing. Darren Waller's on the team as well. Now Saquon's injured for the next 3 weeks. The 49ers look like they've been doing good. I mean, Christian McCaffrey has been basically carrying them in some points. He's gotten the touchdown in the last 11 games that he's played. So I think the 49ers go 3-0. I think the 49ers go 3-0. There's really not much to talk about it. I mean, they're third in rushing. They're 7th in offense. Their defense isn't as good as it usually is, but I'm sure it's going to pick up over the season. And then you just see the Giants statistics. With the rushing, Saquon is not going to be back. That rushing is not going to be as good as it is. The passing, Daniel Jones came back in the last game. Very impressive comeback. I didn't talk about that much, but I'll probably talk about the games during this. But yeah, I have the 49ers over the Giants in this one for sure. And then we get to the Sunday games. A pretty loaded schedule. We have the Colts versus the Ravens first. Jonathan Taylor is still not part of the team. He still is on the IR. So he's not going to be back until at least week 5, which he probably won't even be playing for the Colts or be playing at all because he's going to be holding out possibly. But I think the Ravens are going to go 3-0, even though Odell is dealing with an ankle injury now. I mean, I love Odell, but that man, I don't know what's going on with him and these injuries, man. I just don't know. But I have the Ravens coming out of that, so 49ers, Ravens. Titans versus Browns. Both teams don't look good. That's like the battle of like mediocre in that game. I think I might have the Titans if not Jonathan Taylor, Derrick Henry plays. Browns don't have their lead back. I love Jerome Ford. Jerome Ford looks good. They did just sign Kareem Hunt. Deshaun Watson is wishy-washy. But that Titans defense can really be stifling sometimes, and especially with the pass rush that Deshaun Watson didn't really react well to last game. I'm going to go out on a limb and say it's Titans if Derrick Henry is in. Hopefully he is. Let me make sure he is. Derrick Henry, they don't even know if he's going to be able to come back with the toe injury. I might pick Browns. I might just go Browns. I'm going to go Browns. We're picking all the home teams right now, but we're going to go Browns. Very much home field advantage right now. Falcons versus Lions. Two very promising teams. The Falcons still don't use their passing that as much as they should in terms of like using Kyle Pitts and using Drake London. They did use Drake London a lot this week, but Kyle Pitts has not been used to his potential at all in his entire career with the Falcons. I think the Lions are going to win, though. I think the Lions are going to win. They hardly lost the last week. They were coming back. Jared Goff throws his first pick in like, I don't know how many days that they said it was. I don't really care because it's the Lions. So, like, I enjoy watching the Lions, but I'm not going to keep up with all their stats right now. But, man, I don't like going all home teams right now. I don't. But I think that's what I'm going to have to go with. Packers, too. Damn, we are 5 straight. 5 straight with home teams. That's not going to be good if they just all tend to lose. And the Jaguars, too. Because the Jaguars are just good. They made the Chiefs struggle on offense with Travis Kelce. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 straight of just home teams, but I have them all. Dolphins versus Broncos, I have to go Dolphins. The Dolphins are on a hot streak. Tyreek Hill looks unstoppable, which you would think the more he got older, the less he would look like that, but he is looking great this season. Tua is throwing some dots across the field. Russell Wilson is not. The defense is struggling as well for the Broncos. I mean, I think the Broncos are one of the highest scoring offenses, but they keep giving up points. So it's the opposite of last year. Last year, the defense was stifling, but Russell in that offense with Nathaniel Hackett couldn't score a touchdown or couldn't score as much as they needed to. So I'm going to go Dolphins. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of home teams. This is where I change it. I have the Chargers beating the Vikings, and this is where the Vikings start to panic. They just made a trade for Cam Akers, like a 6th-round pick or something. I think it was a 6th-round pick. Don't quote me on it. But the Chargers have been losing barely for the last 2 weeks. I think they blow out the Vikings, and Justin Jefferson is really going to be questioning, even if he's getting a lot of money from the Vikings, if he's going to re-sign it. I don't know, but I have the Chargers winning that. I'm going to keep going with the Chargers until they get their first win because I like them as a team. I used to like them growing up, so I hope that they do well. And just their team is just so loaded. And if Austin Eckler comes back and plays, it's basically done. It's basically done. Justin Herbert's really good. Patriots versus Jets. I think the Jets win, but barely. Barely winning. Barely winning because that Patriots defense did look good against the Dolphins. Zach Wilson, I think they would really have to go with the conservative route, going to Dalvin Cook and Breece Hall on screens, going to Garrett Wilson on a screen pass too. I mean, just going to Garrett Wilson in general. I'm going to have the Jets on that. Bills versus Commanders, I have the Bills. I think they're going to start getting on a hot streak now. After last week, it looked like Josh Allen got his confidence back after this rush that he had, that he took a hit. And he just got up and started getting hype. I think they beat the Commanders. I don't know if the Commanders... I think the Commanders might come back in some way, but then still end up losing. Panthers versus Seahawks. Unfortunately, the Seahawks for the Panthers, because Bryce Young looked like he was supposed to be promising this year and possibly make some sort of push for the playoffs, but starting off 0-3 is not going to look good. I have the Seahawks, and Geno Smith, DK Metcalf, Kenneth Walker has been one of my favorite running backs since last year. I mean, you can watch my old videos. The Seahawks franchise, I kept talking about Kenneth Walker nonstop. I love them coming out of Michigan State. Cowboys versus Cardinals, most definitely Cowboys. If anything, they rest their starters for this game because I still think that they can blow out the Cardinals. No disrespect to the Arizona Cardinals, but your team right now is not going to be able to put up a chance against the Cowboys. Bears versus Chiefs. This probably will be another blowout. If the Chiefs lose in this trap game against the Bears with Justin Fields struggling, I don't know, but I have the Chiefs winning that one for sure. Steelers versus Raiders. Steelers. The Raiders look so dysfunctional right now. Josh Jacobs is not getting... He actually has less yards now than he did after week 1, which is because he had like -6 yards against the Bills. I have the Steelers. Their defense looks good. I don't know if Minka's injured. I think I heard something about Minka being injured. I don't know. You can let me know down in the comments below. But Monday Night Football, another doubleheader. Wow. Eagles versus Buccaneers. That Bucs defense looks good. It does. And the Eagles have not looked impressive in the slightest. I don't know. Baker Mayfield, if he wins this game, he's really making a statement at the start of the season. I have to go Eagles. Devontae Smith looks good. Darius Slay looks good. The Bucs defense can look good all they want, but Jalen Hurts is difficult to cover. Rams versus Bengals. I'm going to go Bengals again. They're going to be in Cincinnati. I just think that Joe Burrow is bound to have a hot streak right now. Even though he re-aggravated his calf injury or knee injury that he had in training camp, I think they win. I can't imagine the Bengals going 0-3, and if they did, they just need to pack it up for the season because you're probably not going to win, you're going to have to win like 12 or 13 out of the rest of the games, and that's very difficult. Because I don't think they have a very easy schedule. So to go over it, 49ers, Ravens, Browns, Lions, Packers, Jaguars, Dolphins, Chargers, Jets, Bills, Seahawks, Cowboys, Chiefs, Steelers, Eagles, and Bengals. Like, I would want to go with an upset of some sort. Did I say the Saints or the Packers? I said the Packers. I said the Packers at first because I had like a hot streak of all these being the home teams. I'll go Packers. I know the Saints are 2-0. I know their defense is really good right now. Maybe another game that Jordan Love shows that he is the next Packers quarterback for the next 20 years. We'll see what happens with that. I like my choices. I do. I still think that the Dolphins are the team to beat in the AFC. Maybe they show it again this week against the Broncos. Broncos going 0-3, you really have to make a decision on if Russell Wilson's even going to be your quarterback next year. Because you're not getting rid of Sean Payton with what you gave up for him. So that's not happening. The Cardinals, we already know they're tanking. They were up like 30-0 or something at one point in the game and ended up choking that lead away by the fourth quarter to the Giants. Disappointing. Very disappointing. Joshua Dobbs is doing his best. He's doing his best, but that defense was not able to stop the Giants. Chiefs, it's Patrick Mahomes. It's just Patrick Mahomes. The Steelers, Mike Tomlin, one of the most winningest coaches in our era right now, hasn't had a losing record in his career. Very impressive, even with the teams that he's had these past couple years. Eagles versus Buccaneers. Maybe this is the Eagles coming out party, or maybe it's Baker Mayfield still showing that he is a starting quarterback in the league, and the Bucs just found a diamond in the rough, but they're not going to be able to find a future quarterback if he keeps playing like this. So the Bucs have to pick and choose. I know they want to win right now because they have a lot of players aging, But we'll have to see how Baker plays in that game, because he's either going to play really well or he's going to get shut out. He's going to get shut out if not. The Bengals, like I said, their defense is really not doing well either. They're not. They're not. And we talked a lot about these already. So let me know what you think about my choices down below. Not a great record to start off the season. We're trying to get back on track. Hopefully we can have a winning record after this week. But if you did enjoy, please go down there and like the video so you can get this out to more people. We can have more conversations down below about these picks and about what we think in terms of the upsets and the players and injuries and things of that nature. And subscribe so you don't miss out on the rest of these Chico's choices for the rest of the year. And I will see you in the next video. Peace.